Welcome to the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B-Live, the money man Scotty D, and your host, the head of creative Eddie Cool. The Sports Bros Podcast, by the fan, for the fan, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, y'all, them, this, that, these, and those, welcome to the 201st episode of your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. I go by the name of Eddie Cool, a.k.a. the HOC, and Twitter ain't never gave me my blue check, so I ain't even tripping on it, all right? And with that being said, I have one out of two of the best co-hosts in the world. Joining me right now is the almighty B-Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? The people have spoken. We got rid of the other guy. It's just the two of us moving forward with the Sports Bros Podcast. Man, you know what? This is it's a feeling of relief, you know, a weight lifted off of my shoulders because I've carried the other guy for 200 episodes, and finally.
Wait till he hears this. Wait till he hears this.
No, yes, of course, because y'all be talking cash whenever I'm not here. So it's my turn to talk, but it's okay. You'll hear from the other guy later on in the episode. He is somewhere calling, I believe, a lacrosse game up in Washington, Pennsylvania, doing his assistant athletic directorship action, whatnot's going on at Trinity High School. So he is not missed, but it's okay. It's okay. I came prepared. I came ready to shoulder the weight as I always do. Yes, sir.
Boy, that's messed up. That's messed up.
Now it's no. I've heard the two of y'all when I ain't here. Oh, there ain't no sympathy for me, but now there's sympathy when he. Okay,
but see the thing about it is, B-Live,
no,
you know between me and him who talked the most trash. All right, he's talking the most trash because he's been trying to make it a two-man thing for the last longest. I'm like, no, Scott, that ain't how it worked. 1, 2, 3 of us.
You be feeding into that mess. That's okay. That's all right. I see you now. You got the sympathetic ear. It's all. It is okay. I see how it is, man. I thought we went further back than this.
We did, B-Live. But damn it, I need content. We need content. Everybody want content. So everybody got to have content. All right, enough of that mess here. Let's go ahead and hop right into the top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order. B-Live, the NBA playoffs, hot, heavy, crazy. This will be dropping on Wednesday, but you told us Monday night, boy, will y'all pick a bad time to go to bed. Luckily for you, I was in the kitchen making me a fish sandwich, and I had a chance to see the last 2 minutes in the Lakers and Grizzlies game. And the Lakers are up 2-1 in that series. B-Live, let's talk about that one first.
Man, let's talk about a couple of things real quick with that. I believe that the biggest thing that we're facing right now is just the difference between experience and youth when it comes to that series. It's talent-wise, it's all over the place because I think that the Grizzlies are deeper when it comes to talent. But when you have two of the best players in the world on the same team, easily definitely top 10 in the league right now, two of them on the same team, some argue top 5 when they're healthy, it's tough. It's tough. And then when you start to see finally, after all this time, that the role players are starting to play their role, even when the stars are not doing what they do, the Lakers are a tough out. They're tough. And when LeBron James can sit back and just have a calm 20-20 game, when Anthony Davis, I think he had I don't even have my notes in front of me. I know it was a very quiet game for him, but yeah, the Lakers are up 3-1 now. Memphis is on the brink of elimination. It's gonna be a tough out for them. It's gonna be a tough out. But yeah,
I'm sorry. They are up 3-1. I don't know where I get 2-1 from. Go ahead, be live. That's why when you work all the time, man. Everything start running together and stuff.
Oh no, I get it. I have a little bit more time on my hands than I really want to, but still, trust me, I'm gonna be at work at 9 o'clock tonight, all in the wee hours of the morning, 5 nights. Good Lord, I'm too old for this. But it's one of those things where you start to see the youth in the Memphis Grizzlies when it comes down to game time situations, playoff basketball game time situations. It always just experience outweighs it all. Memphis has a lot of talent. They have loads of talent. I think they're a year away. I think I said this last year though, and they're running into the most experienced team in the league right now. Maybe outside of Golden State, but yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough, and it's one of those things where Memphis almost did everything right this game. They almost, but LeBron James with that layup to take it into overtime, and they just toughed it out. You can see some of the carelessness with the Grizzlies. You saw a little carelessness with what my boy named Dennis Schroeder. Maybe he shouldn't hold the ball because every time he got the ball, he wanted to throw it away. But man, it's going to be tough. I can see this game. I can see the series ending in 6. I think Memphis will find a way to win at home in Game 5. Game 6 is back in LA, and I think this series will end in 6. Yeah, but this is definitely one of the more intriguing ones. Speaking of Golden State, though, that by far is the most exciting series. And I'm hearing rumors and ramblings. It took a little blow because I'm gonna say this out real quick. The best player in the playoffs right now, the best performer in the playoffs right now, hurt with a fractured finger. De'Aaron Fox has been playing his absolute butt off. This is the emergence of De'Aaron Fox. If you did not know, now you know. Tied up 2-2 against the defending national champions. Golden State can't win a game on the road. But if De'Aaron Fox isn't 100%, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. All the other series are playing out somewhat the way you expected, except for the Heat versus the Bucks.
Ooh, did not see this coming. They got them on the ropes 3-1, and Jimmy Buckets dropped what, 52?
56.
Ooh, 56. Man.
50. The 4th most in NBA playoff history. Jimmy Buckets is him. Himmy Buckets.
Himmy Buckets.
Himmy Butler. Him. That dude, man. Ooh. Miami finds a way. They've done this before. They did it in the bubble. They go deep in the playoffs when you least expect. They were one game away from being home in the play-in tournament. They lost to Atlanta, and then that could be the difference, because if they win against Atlanta, they could be going against Boston, and Boston is playing 0 games right now.
Yeah,
none.
And then on top of that, Giannis had 26 points. And then was Brook Lopez, he had 36 points. Don't matter, because like you said, him and Buckets had 56.
Like, with those stats, they don't lose. But God, 50. Ooh. Can he repeat it? Like, here's the one thing about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's gonna give you everything on the court, everything he has, everything. And man, but can he will them all the way to a title? Now, here's the thing: because they're the 8th seed, they would go against the winner of the Knicks Cavaliers series. They would get the benefit of the number 1 seed and so I think them, if they win, and I predict them to win against them, it would be close to a miracle for the Bucks to win the next 3. But they can do it. But I predict that Miami Heat going to find a way to eke one of those games out. And then they get to avoid the Celtics and the 76ers and will most likely face the winner of the Cavaliers and the Knicks. And Stephen A. Smith's going to be happy about that because
orange and blue skies, orange and blue skies, orange and blue skies. Hilarious.
Because they got a gym. And I think, see, here's the thing. I can distinctly remember saying something about Jalen Brunson when he was with the Mavericks and how special he was there. And they ship him out for Kyrie Irving. And they made moves and somehow Jalen Brunson now ends up with the Knicks. And he is special.
Very, very much so. Jalen, I've been hearing like rumblings of Jalen Brunson last year. I'm like, okay, he's pretty good. And now he just coming over to New York and just making the team his. I mean, he's a great compliment to what's his name, Julius Randle?
Yeah, Julius Randle.
He's a great compliment to Julius Randle. And the Knicks are pretty deep, man. The Knicks are pretty deep, and they will fight. I will say that though. They will fight.
Now, and the thing about the Knicks, and I like the way you said that they will fight. They have a defensive prowess that is pretty much second to none in these playoffs. And defense does win championships. At the end of the day, though, with the Bucks being out of the way, I think it's Boston's to win. But do not discount that one team that is sitting at home just resting, the Philadelphia 76ers. If they can get this version of it, like Joel Embiid is always going to be Joel Embiid. He's actually been hurt a little bit in this series. But if they get this version of James Harden, we're about to see between the 76ers and the Celtics. Like I said, I predict the Celtics to win over the Hawks. Yeah, they pulled one out just to make it some. Game 3 was an anomaly, but yeah, the Celtics about to handle business at 5. I think the Heat may get pushed. I think Heat in 6, Knicks in 5, 76 is already gone. I'm already in there. And so that's my prediction for the Eastern Conference. Heat versus Knicks, Celtics versus 76ers. And it's going to be very, very interesting. And we talked about it a little bit before, but I want to tap into the Western Conference matchups, what I predict going on in the Western Conference. As I said before, nobody believed me, including the 2 of y'all, one of them not being here. Nobody respects the Denver Nuggets. I don't understand why. Tell me, somebody give me a good reason why nobody believes in the Nuggets.
I'm just saying, like, you got the 2-time MVP. You haven't really got far in the playoffs. So are you just good for the regular season and the poops during the playoffs? Like, I need to, because they got the Timberwolves on the ropes 3-1. I mean, did we think that the Timberwolves were going to come in and just, be world beaters and body snatchers? No, not against that Denver Nuggets team. They're balanced, but I want to see what they do once they get to the second round. That's what I want to do. I believe we'll win the first round, no problem. But I need to see what they do when the second round come around.
And I think they're gonna get their test. And I think that the Phoenix Suns are going to they're going to survive. I think the Suns are it's just a little bit too much firepower on the front end with KD and Devin Booker. What I want to see, which I still haven't seen yet, is if a series gets deep, I think the Nuggets can push the Suns. I think it could go 7 games. And I think Kevin Durant and Devin Booker are going to be tired because they're going to have to play 40, 42, 43, 44, 45 minutes for the Suns to be in the game.
Because they gave up a lot when they traded for KD, because like a lot of depth that they had on that bench, you know, they played a key role as far as them getting to the finals, not last year, but the year before. But, you know, once you get with that depth, man, you put yourself at a disadvantage, and they're going to work the hell, like you said, out of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So, I mean, with that, man, we shall see.
And at the end of the day, as much as the media wants to hype up the resurgence of Russell Westbrook, without Kawhi Leonard and Paul Pierce, it's over with. Suns gonna take care of business in 5. The Nuggets going to take care of business in 5. I think the Lakers are going to take care of business in 6. And I think with I'm curious to see. They're saying that De'Aaron Fox is going to get his finger wrapped up and he's going to play, but they're mentioning that he's doubtful. I've rarely ever seen a player be doubtful and let alone still play. And then on top of that, be actually successful in what they do. I think they're talented, but all Golden State needs is just one victory on the road. I know they're terrible on the road, but without a healthy 100% De'Aaron Fox, it's going to be tough. I think Warriors and their experience, their depth, Andrew Wiggins being back, you see some bright spots. And at the end of the day, Golden State will come out on top. I think it's 5 or 6. I think no, it has to be 6. They're tied 2-2. I think Golden State wins the next 2. They win the one in Sacramento. Game 6 is in Golden State, and the Warriors in Golden State. They're one of the best teams at home, and this is where it gets interesting because with Golden State winning, and with the Lakers winning, Golden State will be the higher seed, and therefore they will have home advantage against the Lakers, which will make, I guarantee you, all the talking heads, all of the sports shows, every single one of them is going to be covering the Warriors versus the Lakers. I'm just going to turn my TV clean, smooth off. I'm gonna go off of. I'm when it comes to the morning shows and all that. I'm gonna watch the games, of course. But that's gonna be the talk of the town. So what I got going on, I've got the Nuggets versus the Suns. I'm moving forward. Golden State versus the Lakers. I have the Nuggets beating the Suns.
Okay.
I have Golden State beating the Lakers because it's at home. I think that series can go 7. I think Golden State wins because I just don't believe in the Lakers role players. The role players have been doing a great job, but for them to sustain throughout the entire playoff, LeBron has just been. Here's the thing: LeBron is great, grand, and wonderful. People still claim him as the GOAT. He's not taking over games. What he's doing is he's doing the right things at the right time. But if it isn't for an Austin Reeves leading the team with 23 points. Austin Reeves was a leading scorer in a Lakers overtime victory. Not LeBron, not AD. Austin Reeves. Rui Hachimura, he's going to be a starter on somebody's team. I don't think he stays on the Lakers that much longer as the backup. He's going to be a starter somewhere.
He is, man. He's pretty good, man. You can't deny that.
Then whoever that Vanderbilt kid is, he's just there for no reason. But it's like, and then I mean, I don't see their role players being able to put up 20, 25 points every single night. That's why I have Golden State beating the Lakers. I have the Nuggets beating Golden State. At the end of the day, I have Nuggets versus Boston in the championship. And you're gonna hear it from me. I'm putting respect. I called Milwaukee to win it all, but I don't think Milwaukee survives this. So you're hearing it from me. Your 2023 NBA Finals champion, the Denver Nuggets. I'm putting respect on their name. I said
the Nuggets, huh? Wow, okay.
I'm putting the Nuggets to win it all.
Wow. The Denver Nuggets to win it all. That's a bold pick, B-Live, and from the looks of it, you're going to stand by it. Ain't going to nobody tell you different. But I understand why, man. Because that West, man, it ain't what it used to be. I will say that, though. The Western Conference ain't what it used to be. I mean, it's a meat grinder between all the teams that are good, and it's just a classic case of cannibalism. Everybody just, destroying each other until one team only survives. And so, B-Live say he can pick the Denver Nuggets. All right. Moving right along, let's go to the ice, B-Live, the NHL, or I'm sorry, the Stanley Cup playoffs, if you will. Yep. The Stanley Cup playoffs, and they are up and rolling. We got Boston Bruins doing their thing, beating everybody as well, too. We got Tampa Bay on the ropes against the Toronto Maple Leafs as the Maple Leafs lead the series 3-1. Rangers doubles tied at 2-2. And then we got Vegas over the Winnipeg Jets 3-1. And B-Live, our Carolina Hurricanes 3-1 over those pesky New York Islanders. Give us your takeaways from that series.
Well, as you know, it's all about the storm surge when it comes to me. Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes, sir.
I'm 45 minutes away from Raleigh. I can hear the noise in Fayetteville, the loudest arena in the NHL. And we finally got a road win. If there's a team that's been terrible on the road in the playoffs, it's been the Carolina Hurricanes. We went 0 last year, but we finally got one this year. They're not that bad in the regular season, but man, it hurt last year going game seven. Oh, Lord. This one won't go to 7. We're about to end this in 5 today. We're recording Tuesday. I believe the game is on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and we're going to go ahead and handle business. Because them Islanders, they dirty. I don't even like. I'm gonna say it with my chest because they got all my players hurt. Teravainen is out for the playoffs. Drury's out for this game. They say it's not a concussion, but Svechnikov, he was injured last month. So some of our top players are out for the Hurricanes, but they're gonna do what it do. They're deep. Carolina's one of the deepest teams in NHL. It's going to be very interesting. I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be Hurricanes versus the Bruins and that's going to end this. And here's the thing: even though Boston broke every single record in the regular season, my Hurricanes had their number. I think if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up. I believe Hurricanes won 2 out of 3 during the regular season against them. And so they might have rolled over everybody else, but it's going to be very, very interesting. I think the most intriguing matchup is only a few feet apart when you got the New Jersey Devils versus the New York Rangers. They
literally a rock. I'm in your backyard.
Man, oh man. It's gonna be interesting. It's 2-2. Every game has been won, if I'm looking at it correctly. Looks like every game has been won by the road team.
Wow. Ain't that something?
Yes. Every game has been won by the road team. So that could go either way. They resume play on Thursday. And so it's going to be interesting. Let me see here. Just looking at a couple of my notes here.
You know, while you looking at that, B-Live, I got to tell you something I saw Sunday night after I got off work. The Oilers and the Kings, right? So it was the first quarter, and the Kings were up big, 3-0 on the Oilers, right? And then Edmonton came roaring back, and they scored 3 goals in the second period, right? And then they scored, and then the Kings and the Oilers scored 1 goal apiece, and it went to overtime. And the Oilers, they scored the game-winning goal, and they won in overtime 5-4. Because I was looking, I told my guy Kyle, I said, "Ooh, boy, that's gonna be some tough sledding to come back from." And then next thing you know, Leon Draisaitl, former MVP, he scores a goal. And then who else gets into it? Hyman, he scores another goal. And then Evander Kane scores another goal. And then Leon Draisaitl gets 2. That's his second goal of the night. And so, like, they literally walked them down. And they did this on the road. They did this at the former Staples Center. So, yeah, man, the Edmonton Oilers put up a fight Sunday night. They did. They really did.
All right. They're knocked up at 2-2. Taking a game apiece on the road and home, and 3 overtime games. Whew.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to put some eyes on that myself, because that's gonna be very interesting. Vegas handling their business against Winnipeg. That's foregone conclusion. I think Vegas is gonna go ahead and handle business on Thursday at home. At the end of the day, I think the winner's going to come out the East either way between Boston and Carolina. They're clearly the 2 best teams in hockey. They just happen to be in the same conference. It's going to be interesting to see who emerges from the Western Conference. I really don't have too much of a dog in the fight when it comes to the Western Conference. It could be Vegas. I'd say it could be. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Seattle's keeping a fight against the Colorado Avalanche. I believe the Avalanche were the number 1 seed coming in.
In their first playoff appearance, the Seattle Kraken, they finished the season. They finished the regular season at 46-28, and they had 100 points. So, yeah, look at the Kraken. I don't know if you saw a while back, B-Live. They were on the road, and homie scored a goal, and he looked at the girl in the stands. He blew a kiss at her. She was like, "F you, Kraken." It was hilarious. way to be a heel. Way to get your MJF on, man. So let's see. Out of the West, man, like you said, there's no telling what Seattle's going to do, man. Hockey is so up in the air. But, you get the powers such as Colorado. It's going to be interesting to see what Colorado does, man, because they're the reigning, defending Stanley Cup champions, and it's real hard to count them out. But then again, man, who knows, man? Vegas can come back and bite people in the butt, man, because Vegas kind of reminds me of the Marlins. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're bad. So, we got hockey, NBA playoffs, a whole lot's going on. Real quick, B-Live, before we hop into our next segment. Did you watch Monday Night Raw?
I think I caught the bare end of it.
Okay.
I didn't watch much of it. I was more I think, let's see, today's Tuesday, so I have to recollect my thoughts. I was really focused more in basketball. And I think at the time, what was I was watching something. You know what? Don't get me the line.
Don't get you the line.
Don't get me the line. I don't.
So you see,
I think I you know what? I took a nap and I woke up around like 9. That's what it was. I took a nap. I woke up around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I really didn't get much of it. But
yeah. You see, I don't know if you've been seeing the waves on social. I think you have. What do you think about this new WWE Heavyweight Championship title? What do you think about it? So one of my buddies calls it the Ferrero Rocher title, because that's what that's what kind of reminds me of the Ferrero Rocher rapper.
The little gold. Yeah, I think it's lazy.
Very.
I think it's really, really creative. That is really lazy. They want Roman Reigns to get they want him to break whatever, right? They want to get to 1,000 wins, but they want to stir up some hype. And so, like, it feels like a made up title. Like, I think here's what should have happened. They should have, like, somehow concocted a storyline where one of the top superstars comes up and, like, there's a clause in their contract that they can't fight for the Universal Championship, or, like, because they're on SmackDown, they're contractually obligated where they can't fight for Universal Championship. But now what they're doing with the new title is the new title is going to go to whoever doesn't draft Roman Reigns in the draft that's coming up this coming week. And I'm just like, oh my God, my head hurts so bad. Like, they should have rolled out some way. And I think Scotty D had a perfect scenario for this, or something like that. Or the belt should be split. Roman, like, the belt should be split to where Roman loses, but he only loses one belt. I think they should roll it somehow. That this is lazy. There's a way for Roman Reigns to not lose. Is a way for Roman Reigns. He's not even going to Backlash. He's probably going to show up. He might not even show up till. I think Night of Champions. I think he has to be there for whatever reason. But that's when they're revealing the new champion or whatever. So what? They don't even They don't even have a storyline written for Roman Reigns right now.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just chilling. And as far as that new title goes, man, I'm with you, B Live. It just seems lazy. It's just another title to get lost in the shuffle. It is more like a consolation prize.
Yep.
If you want to hear it, I mean, hell, you got what? If that's the case, but why do you have 3 world championships? 3, because this will be the third one. Why do you have 3 world championships in Intercontinental and the US? Those serve as secondary titles. So, and I will say this though, with Gunther being the Intercontinental title, is brought it back to prestige, and then Austin Theory, that's the next man up title. So it's just trying to figure all that out, man. It's a whole lot going on, belts and stuff going everywhere, people jumping off stuff, somebody over that line. It's just madness and riffraff, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tired of the big announcement trope. Yeah. It's a trope. Like, okay, a big announcement. Okay, how, like, it's not like everyone is clamoring to hear what this big announcement about, and then when they make the big announcement, it's like, this is what you.
Now you're just scraping for ratings, and you're gonna keep Boy Who Cried Wolf to the point where you're gonna make your product even more stale than what it already is. It's great. They had it was a great, wonderful storyline between the Bloodline and Sammy and KO, and that's already starting to grow a little stale. But there's still some nuances in there. But I still don't like the way they like that was. Cody Rhodes wasn't it. It still wasn't it, and they didn't believe in him. It's a mess. It's a mess. Creative has got to clean up somehow, because they've made Roman Reigns bigger than life, and it's almost to the point of who and how can they take the belt off of him.
That's the thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now it's even to the point of now we're creating another title so they don't have to, and it's just lazy. It's lazy, but it just they'll give us something eventually. We'll keep watching, because, like, that's the one thing about WWE at this moment in time, is that I watch it because I'm curious.
Yep.
I don't like it's like some people watch it because they're excited about the product and they look. Now, I'm genuinely curious to see how much more the creative team can screw up these storylines. They got one right, though. Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny in a street fight.
That's a good one. I'm looking forward to that one.
That is a monster. That right there, the Latino, the Latinx, however you want to say it, that community is important. Oh my God. I like, I'm excited. And I've listened to some of Bad Bunny's music, and I'm like, why is this dude so popular? But that's not my genre. But I literally, when I'm DJing, people ask me for Bad Bunny almost, and I play something like, huh? But then again, that's a whole nother. So I digress. That Damian Priest, Bad Bunny, I'm gonna watch Backlash because of that match.
Yep, that's definitely gonna be a good one. We'll be live. Guess what? It's time for us. It's not that time yet. We're doing things a little out of order. It's different.
While you got me, I think you're gonna plug what I think what you want to do. Bring in Scotty D. I have to step away, but then you're gonna bring me back for a little piece of something. And so it's that time. I'm gonna step away for a little bit, but then I'm gonna come back because that's how we flow things. I'm gonna be here somehow. So bring the other guy in. It's that time.
Yes, it is that time, and I'm glad you asked for our favorite portion of the show. Here it is, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Choices of the voices right after this.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and Scotty D. Watch your ears.
Ever
so lovely, Miss Button, for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You heard it, you guessed it. You're right. It is the choices of the voices where we ask you the question, you give us the answer, and we'll talk about it. It's going to be entertaining for the 201st time we are doing this. And with that being said, Scotty D, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, we asked if you were in charge of the Carolina Panthers, who would you be picking? This week, it's draft week, Eddie Cool. It is draft week. That's coming up Thursday night. And your Carolina Panthers are on the clock. What are they going to do? Do we know yet? This has been like this. It's been like a weird, secretive draft that we got coming up here. You know, I watched a special the other day on the 1984 NFL draft, and Irving Fryer got picked number 1, and he was signed like 3 weeks before the draft. They signed him. He was done. The deal was done. It wasn't even like they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pick you on number 1." So I'm interested.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interested because, I mean, it's not number 1's not a slam dunk. We don't know what Houston's doing with number 2. We don't know if there were some like trades on the table where there are people. I mean, this is. It looks like in around like the top 10 or so, there's about 3 teams that need quarterbacks, and there are 4 quarterbacks whose name has been thrown out there. So somebody might plummet down into like the late first rounds, mid to late first rounds, or even into the second round. Who knows? It's going to be real interesting to see because I told you what I would have done if I was Carolina.
Yeah, you did.
I would have tanked it this year. I would have tanked it and tried to stay up there and get one of those couple studs next year. Because I really am not convinced any of these guys are franchise savers. But anyway, that's just me and my incoherent rambling. So Eddie, what do the people say? What's everyone else thinking?
All right, let's see what our voices had to say in this week's choices of the voices. Sean Cannon said Stroud. Because Bryce Young will have CTE by year 3. See, you don't wish nothing like that on nobody. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's citing the size thing.
Yeah.
He's going to get beat up.
Yeah, I understand that. I get it. But let's not wish that on people. Bam, come on now. All right, Kelly White, she said, sell the team and buy another one that's actually good. I almost cussed, but Kelly go run a lap in the snow, all right, in December. I'm being real nice about that. Don't be doing that to my team. All right, Randy, Macho Man Martin, he said CJ Stroud, all right?
Okay.
Yep. Trey Dizzle, he said they should trade it to Dallas for Dak Prescott. He's a great quarterback.
Oh, gosh.
He would fit in with the Carolina Panthers system extremely well. With all of Dak's amazing talents, he will surely do just as well as the recent Carolina QBs. Plus, he's great in commercials. You guys will love him. Oh, wow. We all right. We good. We good. Hey, Scotty D, did you know with Aaron Rodgers being officially traded to the damn Jets, Dakota Rain Prescott is the longest tenured quarterback in the National Football League. You didn't know that, did you?
In the whole NFL?
Yeah, longest tenured quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah, if you think about start running through the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. And I was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, it's true. It's damn true.
Yeah, because I remember I went to see the Cowboys play live in his second season. I went to Jerry World.
Mm-hmm.
It was the second season, and they played the Chiefs, and Mahomes was a rookie on the bench while Alex Smith was playing.
Yeah.
And that was, I believe. Yeah. So, well, I guess Mahomes must be there. Would Mahomes be there? I guess maybe the same amount, but just didn't play as long.
Yeah, because what's that, 17?
No, that's right. No, it was Dak's second year, was Mahomes' first year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Mahomes was a rookie on the bench. It was Dak's second year. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yep. That makes sense. Our Hall of Famer Uncle Maxie said, I would trade down 3 spots to take a quarterback. To take a quarterback that is left and possibly gain another pick. There would still be a good pick at that spot. So 1, 2, 3. So we're talking about the 4 spot.
Well, but that was the whole point of them trading up to number 1, is to be able to take whoever they wanted. Damn it. You can't get in our way now. They gave them a lot to get there. And I don't think that's a bad strategy, what Max is saying. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they wanted to be up there because they had something in mind.
Yep. All right. And then we have Tony Bogan. What's up, Tony Bogan? Shout out to Tony Bogan, man. One of the hardest working men in all of Northeast Ohio. Going to baseball games, getting video, doing the damn thing. He's got a podcast called Tapped In with Tony Bogan. You should check out as well, too. He says, I'm drafting a quarterback for sure. More likely, CJ Stroud. Yeah, so he's going the CJ Stroud route. Tom Wynn says, I stay away from any Ohio State quarterback and go Bryce Young. You know what? Tom Wynn has a point. Because you remember Braxton Miller was supposed to be a big deal. Terrell Pryor was supposed to be a big deal. I think Craig Krenzel was supposed to be a big deal.
Yeah.
There
was the other guy that played with Zeke. What was his name? He played like he took over if somebody got hurt.
Cardell Jones was supposed to be a big deal.
That's who it was. Yeah, Cardell Jones. He played like 3 games for Ohio State. They won the national championship, and he went pro. And then what about the kid that went to the Steelers that just got killed in the accident? Wasn't he an Ohio State quarterback?
Dwayne Haskins. Yeah,
Dwayne Haskins. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dwayne Haskins. So I mean, yeah. So that's a long lineage of Ohio State quarterbacks that's gone pro, and
Troy Smith.
Yep, Troy Smith
won the Heisman.
Yep, won the Heisman, and now he's on the coaching staff at Elyria Catholic High School.
That's right. You were telling me about him. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, he sure is. Yep. So you got that.
So it seems like Justin Fields right now might be the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
And the jury's still out on him, although he did look much better this past year. Does look like an improved player. So everybody is punishing CJ Stroud for past Ohio State quarterback mistakes.
Yep.
It's hard to ignore. You can't ignore that.
It is. Hopefully, Justin Fields breaks that generational curse. All right. Now we got JR. He says Bryce Young, because when was the last time we seen an elite quarterback in the NFL from Ohio State? We just said that.
Continuing the thread, JR. Continuing the thread there. Yeah.
We just said that. So shout out to Sean, Kelly, CJ, Trey Dizzle, Uncle Max, Tony Bogan, Tom Wynn, and JR for their participation in this week's choices of the voices. We got somebody that want to go first. Be live. What say you?
Oh my goodness, Carolina Panthers. You made all these moves. You did all this trading. You sent off my boy DJ Moore for what we're going to experience this coming Thursday. And with this Choice of the Voices question, you've allowed me to be your honorary general manager for one day, and you have asked me what I want to do with the number one draft pick. I've gone through my brain. I've looked at film. I've listened to all these talking heads. I've seen these rumors and things and reports about the S2 and all this stuff, and who's smart and who's dumb and who makes decisions better and who the this and that and all the measurables and intangibles and speeds. And my head hurts. Scott Fitterer, I envy you, sir. I don't want your job. But with that being said, I've come to this conclusion. As much as I don't want to say this, and because there's certain trends and everything, screw it. I got the job for one day. I'm going AR-15. I've just, as much as I've made these pictures. I've talked about C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. I talked about how you don't move up to number one to pick AR-15. He's 53% completion rate, et cetera, blah, 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 yada, yada. Man, Florida is trash. It ain't got nothing to do with Anthony Richardson. It ain't got nothing to do. He ain't had no wide receivers to throw to. We've made all these moves. We've built this quarterback room. We've got a quarterback coach that was a former quarterback. Got a QB coach, former NFL QB. We got a veteran in Andy Dalton. This is how you develop a quarterback. And the person with the highest ceiling, the person that has the most potential, is Anthony Richardson. I know we're not going to get the same charisma that we had in Cam Newton and dab on him and all the things that we did. But we might have the athleticism, and our offensive line is better than it was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And just go ahead. Anthony Richardson, I'm going with it. I said it. I just made up my mind 5 minutes ago. I'm not convinced on Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, either one. C.J. Stroud may have had the best weapons ever in the history of ever, but so did Joe Burrow. So I don't know. People say, "Oh, it's Ohio State." That I don't know. I may never be able to get over Bryce Young's height. 5'10". But he had 6'4" linemen, 6'5" linemen at Alabama. But then again, it's a whole different scheme. It's a whole different element. I don't know. His decisions making has been better than others. I don't know. Maybe I sometimes I like the excitement. And as much as I said that Anthony Richardson is Wish.com Cam Newton, I think he has the biggest upside. I think he could potentially be that superstar that we once had and just develop him. Heck, what would it hurt? Because who's the quarterbacks in the NFC South?
Baker Mayfield, David Carr,
And
Ritter,
yeah,
and Andy Dalton.
It won't take much to win the NFC South this year. And heck, if we don't, we just do it next year. We've got a very young team. Like we're not in danger of losing veteran presence on the team. Our team is very young. I think we can sustain. This team will be with us for years to come, and this is a testing and proving ground. Go for it. Pull the trigger. AR-15. That's what I'm doing. But I don't get paid to make those decisions. We'll see on Thursday, the NFL draft. Yes, sir.
Anthony Richardson. That's That's an interesting case there. Scotty D, what say you?
No to that one. No. He's got a lot of great physical traits, and then he goes out and does knucklehead things. You can't go with, you can't put your friends. There's too many question marks with that kid. He could be outstanding, but I'm not trusting him. I think he might end up being a Colt. I think he's going to slide down to the Colts. Or maybe, and you might be able to get him in the 5th round. He might slide all the way down. Whip back around to the 5th round. You get two rookie quarterbacks this year, like the Redskins did all those years ago with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. You get 2 of them.
Wow.
Here's what out of it obviously looks like it's a 2-horse race. I personally kind of like CJ Stroud better because I think Bryce Young is small, and that doesn't work very good for NFL quarterbacks. I mean, Kyler Murray, look at this guy. Everyone was singing his praises. He was a Heisman winner. He went number 1. Even Baker Mayfield wasn't that big of a guy, and he's not even as athletic as these other guys we're talking about, but at least speed wise. I mean, the list of short quarterbacks that have been great is really like Drew Brees and Fran Tarkenton, and then it doesn't go much further than that. So you're asking
Doug
somebody,
Flutie.
Yeah, and I don't consider him to be great because he couldn't break through till he went to the CFL and had a couple good years, and he came back and had like one good season with Buffalo and some spot appearances. I think the pick's going to be Bryce Young, though. I do think that, and the kid's a winner. He's very solid. And it's hard to argue the case against him. Other than I just think the size thing is going to be a factor. That's my whole deal with him. I mean, I like the kid. He was an outstanding collegiate player, but is he a franchise turning quarterback? I don't know. I don't think that kind of player is in this draft. I actually think Will Levis has kind of the tools because he's got a cannon, but I don't know that he's smart either. I mean, he's been known to turn the football over too. He's a little bit careless. That maybe something can get corrected. There was some talk about Josh Allen that way when he came out, that he was, inaccurate and seemed to work through that. But, Jameis Winston was a turnover machine, and he never really, he won the Heisman despite, having some turnover issues, but then he got to the NFL and he never overcame that. I think Bryce Young is going to be the pick. Personally, I didn't like Carolina moving up into this spot to begin with. That was my whole thing. I thought that if you can get a good player, where were they at before, Eddie? 9? Is that where they were at?
Yeah, 8 or 9, I think.
Somewhere. Okay, I think you're still getting a really good player at 8 or 9, and you just tank it and then get you a quarterback next year. That was kind of my feeling. And I actually think we might see that happen here, Eddie, with the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold that they're going to take a quarterback number 2 if they're eyeballing one of these studs that are coming out next year, and they can get, it's possibly Jalen Carter slides because there's some character things, but what's the big kid from Alabama, the defensive lineman that seems to be a sure thing?
Will Anderson.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with him, because say they do take either CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, who doesn't get picked, or one of the other 2 guys. Say they do take, Houston's going to have a terrible season next year anyway. So for them, I would say take one of these other really good players, be terrible with whoever you play at quarterback, and then you might be in the position to pick number 1 next year. That's my thoughts with Hughes. I think that we could see that happen. But as far as the Carolina Panthers go, I think they're going to take Bryce Young. That's what I think is going to happen. What do you think, Eddie? I mean, what are you hearing? You're a Carolina guy.
Let's see. So I saw a report on Bleacher Report that said Bryce Young has stopped accepting interviews with other teams, and that looks like a tell-all sign that the Carolina Panthers may pick him first overall. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Stranger things have happened. Excuse me. That might be some smoke that somebody's blowing up your rear posterior, but you never know. Personally, if you want to know the truth, I want CJ Stroud because he's a tall quarterback and he's effective. He's effective. He can throw the ball. He had some great weapons last year with Jackson Smith-Njigba and Marvin Harrison Jr. So with him having Adam Thielen, and it would have been good. It would have been dope to have DJ Moore, but things happen and it's the business, and so he has some decent weapons around him. So it won't be all him next season, because Andy Dalton probably gonna start, but week number 4, number 5, the Red Rocket Rifle BB gun gonna get his ass out of there, and the young boy gonna come up in there. But I think I CJ Stroud, man, CJ Stroud, you need a tall quarterback. You need a quarterback that can do this, that can see over the line, has great vision, and not make a lot of mistakes. Call me mean, call me an a-hole, but as far as with dealing with small quarterbacks, I'm tired of dealing with small quarterbacks. No. Drew Brees was the lone exception. Like Scotty D said, you had Fran Tarkenton, then you had Doug Flutie, who went to Canada and tore it up, and then came back down and had a pretty good career in the NFL. So I'm saying CJ Stroud. It got to be CJ Stroud, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get Bryce Young. And just like you said, Scotty D, Bryce Young is a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
So the kid knows how to win, and with him coming to an organization that's barely been winning these last handful of years, that was pretty good down the stretch last year, but I think they had issues at quarterback play where they couldn't close out and finish games. They could have finished, oh my God, they could have finished a bunch of games, but it is what it is and it be what it be. From the looks of it, it's going to be Bryce Young, but my personal opinion, CJ got to get CJ Stroud, man. Got to get that quarterback.
So that's who you want him, but he could slide down a couple picks. There's also, I don't know if you saw this, there's a little bit of a rumor going around that Carolina had already agreed with Will Levis. Did you see this one, where the odds of him being picked number 1 overall went from plus 4,500 to plus 400? Wow. And it came from a thread on Reddit, and somehow there was like some rumors going on that he himself had said that he had been in contact with the Panthers and they were going to pick him. I think it's just been like a ridiculous buzzworthy story, but I can't see that. That would be that wouldn't be a shocker if they go to the podium tomorrow night and that's the name that gets called.
Yeah,
but
it would be a swerve, like a swerve.
That would be with the whole, everybody would get swerved because nobody's predicting that. And it's always, I always think it's funny that whoever the number 1 pick is, they're on the clock, and they have been since when did they make this trade? Like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whatever it's been. It's been a month or so since they've done this. But the number 1 pick, they go to the they go to the draft and they give them 10 minutes on the clock. Like, why do you need 10 minutes? We just given you the whole offseason. You don't get 10 minutes to say, okay, bring me your envelope, bring me your pick right now. And number 2 is on the clock with 10 minutes. Let's just eliminate that right off the bat. But this is going to be interesting to see how this opening pick turns out. And, a lot of times you get the first 4 or 5 kind of mapped out and there's not many surprises, but I mean, anything can happen here in this draft. I'm excited to see this draft, Eddie. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. I'm like, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? And with that being said, it's been another edition of the Choices of the Voices. Scotty D, what's on tap for next week?
Okay, next week we're going back to the NBA, and we're going to talk about your favorite player, listener, reader, whoever you are out there that's a Sports Bro family member.
Watcher, you.
Sports Bro watcher. Your favorite NBA player and your favorite moment from that player in the postseason. Your favorite moment from your favorite NBA player in the postseason. That was going to give us something to talk about next week, Eddie. All right, because a lot of people have a lot of different favorites out there. I mean, we get some Boston folk, we got some Bird folk out there, we got some Jordan folk, some Kobe folk. We got a lot of so that's what we're talking about. Your favorite NBA player of all time, like not just current player, favorite NBA player of all time, and your favorite moment that they gave you in the postseason. And that's what we're going to talk about next week on the Sports Bros podcast.
Yeah, that's going to turn into a fight, a bloodbath, if you will. All right, with that and that being said, that's been another edition of Choice of the Voices. Coming up next, a round of pepper. Stay tuned right here on the Sports Bros podcast.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, we're going to leave it with a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really, here to engage, educate, enlighten, and entertain. And with that being said, I'll go first. On this day in history, back in 1912, the first home run ever was hit at Fenway Park by Hugh Bradley of the Boston Red Sox. So, yeah. The trivia question is being asked: who hit the first home run in Fenway Park? Hugh Bradley of the Boston Red Sox. Over to you, B-Live.
Well. For my first pepper point, I want to just go ahead and put some things out there. We got all kinds of sports going on. We got 2 different football spring leagues. We've got baseball at the, in its first month. Check out the Sports Bros Top 5. Our newest segment called Lifted.
Lifted!
The longest home runs every week coming from your boys here, the Sports Bros Podcast. We've got NBA playoffs, got the Stanley Cup playoffs. We got the NFL draft coming up. And my first pepper point is about curling.
What?
It is about curling. Because I found out something this past week, and it was very, very intriguing. You know the stones that they slide over the ice and everything, and you got little brooms out there and brushing the ice and everything. Those stones that slide up. Do you know that every single curling stone comes from one place?
Really? Where do they come from?
They're actually made from an island in northern Scotland, off the coast of Scotland. It's called the Elisa Craig Island. And they have they're usually traditionally made of granite, but for Olympic curling, it's a particular properties of the granite in Elisa Craig that is made specifically. It's Olympic regulation that the curling stones come from Elisa Craig in Scotland. And so now I want to add something to my bucket list, but I want to see what's so special about the granite there that make each one of those curling stones $600 a piece. A piece, yes.
Damn.
Man, I need to get in that market. Eddie Cool, slide the stone to you, Deba.
Got a sweep. Oh, got a sweep.
Oh.
Hey, beat up. Then it goes. That's a 2-pointer right there. There's 2-pointer. Give me my shoe to put back on my shoe. All right. Also, in this day in history, back in 1931, Lou Gehrig, he makes a mistake. And I'll tell you how big it is, right? On this day in history, back in 1931, Lou Gehrig hits a home run, but is called out for passing a runner. And the mistake costs him the AL home run crown. He and Babe Ruth wind up tying that season. See, Lou Gehrig, if you weren't in a hurry to get home, it would have been all yours. But, it is what it is. Lesson learned. I'm pretty sure in his illustrious career, he didn't do it again. Over to you, B-Live.
All right. My second pepper point, we're actually going to combine the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs in this unique pepper point here. Because there is a particular group of people that are rooting against, well, whether it be the Clippers, whether it be the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Los Angeles Kings. And it's the Crypto.com floor crew.
Yeah.
Because they are putting in overtime to switch this one arena around for 3 different teams during these playoffs.
Ooh, I know how old they run ragged.
They are running, man. Just this past weekend, Friday evening, the Los Angeles Kings were at home playing the Edmonton Oilers at 7 o'clock. Turn around on Saturday during the day, the Los Angeles Clippers were playing host to the Phoenix Suns. And then later on that evening, the Lakers were playing host to the Memphis Grizzlies. And so what's the best way to put it? In a little over 24 hours time, they had to change the floor 3 times.
God.
That is a lot of work. Ice, the wood, and all the different elements that go into that. Somebody got to lose. And it looks like the first team that's going to be out is going to be the LA Clippers and the floor crew for the Crypto.com arena, formerly known as the Staples Center. I need to figure out why the floor still says Staples Center on the wood, but that's another question for another day because I researched it, couldn't find anything. Come on, Google, help me out. Eddie Cool, switch the floor out. The puck, and now the ball.
I can't carry both. I'm going to drop them because it's too damn heavy. All right. In the spirit of the NFL draft, which is this Thursday, B-Live, our Carolina Panthers have the first overall pick, CJ Stroud. And with that being said, I have 3 peppers on this day in history, all right? On this day in history, back in 2003, University of Southern Cal quarterback Carson Palmer is the first pick of the Cincinnati Bengals. In 2008, University of Michigan offensive tackle Jake Long is the first pick of the Miami Dolphins. And in 2012, Stanford quarterback Drew Luck is the first pick overall by the Indianapolis Colts. So, draft coming around the corner. Be live. The Panthers. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, aren't we supposed to get somebody on the show next week and tell us about the draft experience?
Yeah. My man, Ian Woodward, we're looking forward to talking to you next week. We'll get up with you because he's going to be at the draft, giving the Sports Bros podcast liaison, giving us a firsthand documentation or the basic. He gonna be there. He gonna be there.
He gonna be there talking about it.
I was trying to make it sound all illustrious. He gonna be there. He gonna take some pictures. He gonna show it to us. Sweet. All right. And for my third and final pepper point. Whew, my head hurts. My head hurts a lot. And the reason why my head hurts a lot is because of the XFL and their playoff. Not the playoff, but yeah, their playoff tiebreaker rules. Now, let me say this. Their tiebreaker rules are the same as the NFL. But the NFL, they play 17 games. They have 4 divisions per conference. It usually doesn't get that far. But the Seattle Sea Dragons and the St. Louis Battlehawks both ended their seasons at 7-3, and they're in the same North Division, where the top 2 teams make the playoffs, and they were tied for second place. I believe the DC Defenders at 9-1 won the division. So with them being tied at 7-3, tied for second place, the tiebreakers go as such. Head-to-head matchups, which won 1, lost 1. Best win-loss percentage in division games. Oh, they had the same record in division games. Strength of victory in all games, which the record and was still the same against common opponents. Their record was the same. And now it gets tricky. The 4th tiebreaker was the best combined ranking among division teams in points scored and points allowed. The NFL, you hardly ever get this far, but because there's been some times where strength of schedule comes into play, common opponents, where like you 7-3, 6-4, that's how tiebreakers are sometimes set, but it hardly ever gets to the fourth one. And the chatter was that the Sea Dragons had to score at least 34 points and keep their team, the team that they faced against the Vegas Vipers, they had to keep them below 34 points, which seems weird, but that was actually the point differential between the Sea Dragons and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Well, the Sea Dragons failed to score 34 points to clinch the fourth tiebreaker. So it ended up going down to a fifth tiebreaker, which ended up being the best combined ranking among all teams in points scored and points allowed. The fourth tiebreaker is within the division. The fifth tiebreaker is all the teams combined. And at the end of the day, the St. Louis Battlehawks scored 249 points and allowed 202, which they ranked second in points scored and fourth in points allowed. So that gave them 6 points. Seattle scored 243 points and gave up 177. 243 points scored put them in fourth for points scored, but their defense only allowing 177 points put them in first in points allowed, which gives them 5 points, and it's the least amount of points in the tiebreaker points gets the nod. And that's why the 7-3 Seattle Sea Dragons are going to the playoffs, and the 7-3 St. Louis Battlehawks with an overwhelming attendance lead. Overwhelming, like they showed up in St. Louis. They'll be sitting at home out of the playoffs at 7-3, while the Arlington Renegades in the South Division, with a whopping 4-6 record, being the second best team in the South Division, goes on to the playoffs. XFL, get rid of the divisions until you get more teams, do better, and send me some ibuprofen. Good God. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a whole lot going on, because I remember when you told us that last night, I was like, I don't know how in the hell that they do it, but they did it somehow, some way. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead, be like,
I was trying to do all kinds of math in my head, and oh, my head hurts so bad. But I'm about to take me a shot of Jameson, because I don't do pills like that, and I'll be all right and get ready for my next gig, because I gotta get on out of here. And Scotty D, thanks for doing your thing with Choices of the Voices. I guess there's a place for you on the show after all.
wow.
We'll keep them along for a couple more episodes, and maybe we'll keep them on for one more year. I don't know. Well, we got to renegotiate his contract, because if he say one more time, and this is Scott Donnelly in the Sports World Podcast, is this contract gonna be null and void? He's gonna be sitting at home just like Lamar Jackson, and we ain't giving him no franchise tag at all. Lamar Jackson getting an agent. I'm sorry, I keep coming back to that. But yeah, go ahead, hit him.
He need to do that. He need to get an agent. We say, be like, want me to go ahead and hit him with it?
Hit him with that, and then closing.
And then closing. Do something nice for yourself, and if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Be a blessing and not a burden. Lord have mercy. Don't be a burden. With that being said, episode number 201 is in the books. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Thank you once again for watching and listening to your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast. Share, rate, review, subscribe. Be Live Top 5 XFL, Be Live Top 5 USFL, and the Lifted series on YouTube. Thank you very much. And Be Live, take us home.
Yes, sir.
Go outside, enjoy some warm weather, and most importantly, wash. See you next week right here, Sports Bros Podcast. Hey, it's Eddie Cool here from the Sports Bros Podcast. And do you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life? Wait a minute, don't answer that. The answer is yes. And I know you want some more of the Sports Bros Podcast in your life. Do us a small favor. Go to the description box, click our Linktree link, and you'll see all the links on how to follow the Sports Bros Podcast. Once again, thanks for listening.